Right, hopefully this has gone live. We'll find out in a moment. So this is mostly just going to be a stream to chat with people. I didn't feel like playing this with other people today because there have been some people, you know, with members and that who've said, could I play and stream it at some point, and I'm completely up for doing that. It's just today I didn't really feel like it because I didn't know how long the stream was going to go on for or whatever. I've got loads of jobs to sort out today, so I thought, you know, I'd just do this now, have a chat with people, and then in a bit, you know, get a video filmed on a gas mask that I was people asked me could I buy a certain gas mask, and it turns out it's not actually a gas mask, it's a like air supply respirator, so it's not much use to me, but I'll do a video on that anyway. So let me just get the chat up on my phone, just order supplies for now rather than do a resupply mission. Right, let's have a look at the chat if I can get it up, because sometimes YouTube can be a bit funny with me getting the game stream things up. So, let's see, can I actually access this video and read the comments? Right, I can. Good. There we go. Right, I can see the comments now, so you have to say hello again if you've just joined. I've got all the roles, if you mean like these ones. Hang on a second. So if you mean these roles, every single one of them done. And enough gold that whenever they next release a DLC, I'll be able to buy it straight away. Yeah, this is one of the only things keeping me sane in lockdown, in all honesty, but I think it is getting to me a bit with, you know, just being literally stuck indoors with nothing to do, plus the weather's been really shit where I am recently, so it means I haven't really been able to go out and do much, you know, even with following lockdown restrictions sort of thing, you know. Probably the Kakano, just because it's all around very good. But in terms of, at the moment I'm trying to get good with the Lancaster, which is basically the Winchester, because I had the Litchfield, which technically has better stats, but I'm actually finding I like the Lancaster a lot more, because it just seems to be like a higher, you know, much faster reload and sort of shooting rate, if you mean, you know what I mean, like rate of fire, rate of reload. Alright, Rich? Oh, stupid fucking muskrat. Ruining my dead night. That little bird will got away now. Alright, Justin. Yeah, I didn't drink much last night, but I'm in one of those days today, you know, where you just feel a bit... like, not down, but you know what I mean? Where you feel a bit like... you know, like, not like you've got to hang it, it's weird, it's just one of those days where, you know, you get up and you have a bit of a headache and you think, I'd rather just stay in bed today. So I'm hoping if we have a good chat on here, it might, you know, get me a bit more talkative. Eventually, Enzo, but it's going to be a while. I don't think it's going to be any time soon. I think a big problem is going to be, let's say in parts of Africa and South America, for example, and the poorer Asian countries, if in those countries there isn't a good vaccine take-up, I think we'll get like different variants of COVID coming around each year, and some of them might be far more dangerous, you know, than the current lot that are out available. You know what I mean? Which particular country, Chris? But bear in mind, I'm selling a lot of my gas masks now, so that's kind of hard to do. Because obviously, if I sell the masks, I can't include it in the video anymore because I don't have it. You'd have to name the country, but with a lot of the masks, I'm just trying to clear up space now and get some extra funds. As I've been saying a bit for like the last week or so. Okay, so what was the other one made out of? Like a greener rubber? Or a browner rubber, Breitel? Well, like I said, with a lot of the countries, there's no point redoing a video, in my opinion, for just having one extra mask for that country's collection. But as I said, I have started selling masks now. So I think, you know, what you've seen is what you're going to get, sort of thing. I'm going to have to wait for Crips to get supply on them. I think there's a daily challenge today. I'll just look at them while I'm here for shooting, like giving Crips a load of small things at once. Yeah, 0-20 carcasses donated within 10 minutes. So the easiest way of getting that is to just basically get loads of little birds and frogs and things like that and toads, because you can keep them all in your satchel and then just donate them all at once. So for example, it's materials, isn't it? I've got 3 bats there so far, 1 bullfrog. Oh, 3 bullfrogs altogether, 4 crows, 1 sparrow, 2 toads, and a woodpecker. So basically the idea is shoot even more little animals, or trample them, and stick them all in my pocket so I can donate them all at once. Trader makes you a lot of money, Mr. Slavinator, and Moonshiner when you get it to the max level. I know there's that stupid thing, isn't there, like a few people have mentioned on here, that if you wait till you've nearly run out of time to complete a mission, it gives you a bigger reward, which is really stupid, but that's the thing Rockstar did. So I can put the toad in my pocket. It's hard to say, because the problem is, obviously, when an actual big war goes on, the gloves are completely off of what people do to each other. I mean, there'd probably be some weapons that make, you know, shrapnel in horrible ways that would wound people but not necessarily kill them outright, which might lead to, you know, like long life crippling sort of effects. But, you know, when people are on purposely trying to kill each other, it seems a bit strange to, you know, have something that's allowed and something that's not. Especially because there's lots of weird stuff where, what is it, with, like certain kinds of chemical weapons. Like chemical weapons are outright banned, but if chemicals are produced from an explosive weapon and then those chemicals maim or kill people, that's totally okay because they're a secondary effect from the weapon, not a primary effect. Yeah, it's because they just carried it over from this, Chris, and, you know, so you're actually punished for not being efficient when you do a mission, which is a bit weird. So a lot of the time, if I've got like a bounty handy, I'm ending up just like waiting for the, you know, like timer to get low before I hand them in just to get more money. That's cool, Rich. Muskrats make such weird noises. Like a parrot. Well, I mean, I'll sometimes swap them around crazy, Egg. But at the moment, I've got a revolver in one slot and a Mauser in the other for the 2 pistols. That way they use different ammo. Like, dual-wielding Mausers is more efficient in a sense, but the thing I like about having the revolvers is that obviously you use a different ammo pool for them. So I've got the Lamat in one slot, because it also has a shotgun effect on it, if I'm not bothering to carry my shotgun. And then I've got the Mauser in another. Hang on, there you go. I always have the Kakano in the, like, number 8 slot, or whatever you want to call it. I'll get the weapon wheel up, hang on. So there you go, I've got the Kakano in that slot, I've got the Lamat in that slot, I've got the Mauser in that slot. Sometimes I'll swap the Lamat to 2 Mausers or 2 revolvers, you know, vice versa. And I've, at the moment, got the Lancaster in that spot, but that's the one where I generally, like, rotate the weapons. So if I'm trying to do something stealthily, I'll put the bow in that slot. But in general, the Kakano is probably my favourite gun in the game, just because it does a lot of damage, and it's pretty accurate to really far distances. There's a new Navy Colt, is there? I've got the Colt Navy. I don't know if I've got it on my horse. Hang on, let's go have a look. But I have got the Colt Navies in the game, but is there a new variant of it or whatever that's been added? Because if you mean Colt Navies, have I got them on there? I've got the Schofields on there. No, I've got them in my weapons box, but I do have a... I do have 2 Colt 1851 Navies, if you mean that, and I've reskinned them. But I just don't have them on me at the moment, because the Lamat makes the Navy a bit redundant, just because it holds 9 shells, or 9, you know, cartridges, not 6. Plus the Lamat has the shotgun underside, and in terms of like reload speed and damage, they seem nearly identical. So it depends what level you are, Crazy Egg, but the Kakano makes the bolt action totally redundant, because of the fact that the Kakano is literally just the bolt action that's better in every way. Like, I can understand why some people stick with the rolling block to get, like, way more damage per shot. But, you know, in general, the Kakano is literally the bolt action, just better. Yeah, we can do that here, Brighto. I really enjoy it, Storm Hunter. But yeah, Brighto, over here we can have black powder guns and that without a license. It just gets sometimes really kind of weird with bits of the lore on it. And often a lot of people who might sell them don't want to sell them to people without gun licenses, just so nothing bad comes back to them, if that makes sense. There's quite a few things in the UK where you can own certain things without a license or whatever. Or with like different sorts of licenses, but you know, again, it's like if you wanted to start shooting your black powder guns, you'd probably need to have them registered as a firearm. But if you're just simply owning a you know, black powder firearm for you know, just collectible sort of purposes, you don't, right? At least he's operational now, but I'm still gonna have to wait a few minutes to start donating my skins. So yeah, the start of this stream might be a bit boring because I'm just basically waiting for Crips to process enough animal parts so I can donate a load more that I've got on me, and carry on. Lots of gators. I need to get round to doing all the single player. I bought the game originally to do the single player, but when I first got this on PC, it barely ran on PC. So it's only now I've just been getting back into it because of, you know, the fact that they've, you know, done shitloads of stuff with the game since it came out, and it runs way better. In terms of frame rates and all that, my PC used to handle it fine. It was just random crashes to desktop with, like, no errors, you know, that completely ruined all the immersion in the game. But yeah, at some point I do need to go through all the single player. It's just because quite a lot of my friends play the online. You know, when they're about, I play online with them. But it's just at the moment the thing that's stopping me going insane, you know, during lockdown. It's just the thing I'm managing to sink time into, you know, distract me from how bad the world is, sort of thing. Why can't I, that's that one I want. I've not got enough of it, that's annoying. I've only got 2 of them, I need 3. Yeah, it's weird stuff like that, isn't it, Brighto? Again, I think it's people making laws who don't really understand the stuff. Alright, Stormhunter, if I can remember off the top of my head, I've got a Ryzen 3900X CPU. I waited to get this PC when the Ryzen 3s came out. So I've got that. I've set myself as offline, actually, because I'm probably going to otherwise have people, you know, coming online. And it won't let me because I'm in this, will it? I don't know. I can't actually... I can't go on offline, that's handy. But, I'll say, so Ryzen 3900X is the CPU. That's the CPU. The GPU is... Right, it was AMD's top video rendering GPU when I got this one. Because it was the same time as I got the 3900. So, right, what was it? I'm trying to think now. Let me just alt-tab out the game so I can put Steam to offline mode that way, because that'll work. There we go. Right, so it was the... I think it was something like the RX 5700 XT or something, wasn't it? It was called that, I think. I basically just bought it because for price performance it was one of the best cards on the market at that point. Whereas, you know, a load of things like a load of Nvidia's top-end cards weren't really that much better on performance, but they cost, you know, like £200, £300 more. Right, let's see if I can donate some stuff to him now. No, that's all I can donate again for now. What animal skin is that? Oh, goat hide. Yes, because I don't normally skin goats. Person without a name says, yo, hello to you. Is that another bat I can shoot? Ooh. There you go. Yeah, we have some weird things like that over here, Brighter, where if you're doing something in a private sale, there are less restrictions on it than if they're like a gun shop sells you something. But again, I'm not like legally into all that shit, so, you know, I try to not get involved in any of it. Because that's where I imagine you could look at something that looks like it makes sense one way, and then get, like, prosecuted years later for doing something if the police wanted to do you for it, or some sort of, you know, prosecution thing. I imagine that's very unlikely, but it is the sort of thing where I can understand why, you know, a lot of people do really say, look, I can sell you this without a license legally, but I'm not going to just to cover myself. No, I've not played Cyberpunk, and there's no point in me getting it until they fix all the problems with it. And I have no plans on upgrading a GPU at all, because this runs most games at a stable frame rate, so, you know, I've got money that needs to be spent elsewhere in all reality. Because, you know, like I've said before to people at the moment, something like a GPU is very low priority to the moment when I'm trying to sort out moving out. You know, because we're getting into the situation now of a lot of people where they're going to end up homeless in the UK due to all the corona shit that's been going on, you know. So worrying about GPUs is really not at the top of my sort of thing. How's my day been so far? It's a bit better now I'm doing the stream. But today's been one of those days where I just think it's the monotony of everything, you know. But yeah, I think the UK unemployment now is at like the highest it's been for decades, hasn't it? I know we're in like the worst recession ever, like worse than the Great Depression now. It's only going to carry on getting worse and worse the longer lockdown goes on. But then I can understand why you do a lockdown, because obviously of all the other problems with, you know. Obviously, if you've got a disposable income and all that, and you want to get a new GPU, go for a new GPU, but it's just for me, you know. This is why, like I said to people, I've been selling off a load of my gas masks and that, just because, at the moment, you know, like I've said in all honesty, something like a gas mask won't keep a roof over your head. You know, you only need a few, you don't need a big collection. Oh, it's a legendary animal over there, let's go see what it is. Probably the legendary gator, I assume. Right, what direction was the thing in? Was it east or west? I assume it was yeah, east. Right, let's have a look. Alright, Peach. There we go. Oh, it is legendary gator. fuck's that other gator coming after me? Right, he's at least beached himself. Right. Alright, we might as well get the legendary gator skin and sell it to, what's his name? Gus. Weirdly, well, it depends what country you're in, but weirdly in the UK, apparently prisons aren't doing too badly. Oh, shit. Fuck, I hope nobody else goes and loots my gator skin. Oh, thank you very much, Nicholas Witchcraft. Most of the difference, Nicholas, is basically designed to be withstanding of, like, horrible chemicals. So, an industrial civilian-style mask is generally not rated against stuff like mustard gas and lewisite, blister agents, or, you know, other agents that are designed to chew at rubbers. Because generally industrial masks are generally always designed for dealing with, like, 1 or 2 industrial chemicals that are pretty common. Can't even see where that gator is now. Oh, there we go. So, let me try and think of a good example. Where's my legendary gator skin gone? Has somebody nabbed it? Because it should be here, shouldn't it? My legendary gator skin's gone. That's annoying. Not as a single pistol. If you dual wield it, yes, Mr. Slavinator, it's worth getting. Not as a single thing. But yeah, Nicholas, basically, oh sorry, Nicholas Whitcraft, if I called you Witchcraft. So, basically, like, the 3M6000 won't be rated to the same extent against lots of horrible chemicals. You can get similar filters for it, but I would say something like a 3M full face mask will break down faster if exposed to really, really horrible chemicals, if that makes sense. Because it's generally just designed to always be used in certain sort of industrial conditions, not, Yeah, I didn't get that gator skin on my horse, did I? It's annoying. At least I've got the legendary tooth, which is probably worth a few dollars, but still. I wanted the legendary gator skin. Don't think so. I mean, the problem is people would have to know which server you're in, and you can't join servers, can you? Basically, as far as I'm aware. You don't get a server list, you can only join through people in your friends list. And people on my friends list wouldn't come in, would they? So, to cause problems, so there you go. I mean, maybe there is a way people can exploit it, but, you know. That's annoyed me about that gator skin. Yeah, butyl mixes are generally the best thing, Brightel, because that's the stuff that you can make butyl but make it more comfortable without any of the sort of problems. But yeah, silicone is comfortable, but it breaks down very easily to certain chemicals. They're only just pore skins here, aren't they, which is a bit annoying. I'm just going to keep putting toads in my pocket until I've got enough to do that daily challenge. Three feathers. Alright, Vladimir, you alright? I'm not too bad, thanks, Vladimir, other than, like, the fact the lockdown stuff's getting to me a bit, you know, of not being able to go out and do anything. So you can't see your friends, you know, and anything like that. How much did she eat beforehand, Justin? Because one of the things I've found is, as well as tolerance to alcohol when you get used to drinking a lot, if you've had a really big meal, it barely affects you, because I guess it's taking too long to get through your stomach. American Truck Simulator's pretty comfy, isn't it? Don't think it gives you the option of kissing frogs in this game. Are they ducks? As if they are, that gives me game meat, which is what I need for a daily thing. Oh, how good they are. Right, there'll be a video a bit later on tonight for people interested in gas masks, in a mask I bought when people said could I buy it and tell them some details on it. And you'll be a bit disappointed because it's not a gas mask that's of any use. It's one of those ones that requires an airline with an air tank. Yeah, Brighton, well that makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? If you have a silicone inner nose bit or whatever, that means you get the comfortable in-face bit, but you have the bit that's going to be exposed to chemicals is butyl or whatever. As opposed to, yeah, doing like the M40 thing of having the entire mask be made of silicone, and then you have to put like a GIMP hood on it to protect it from more, you know, weird chemicals. I'd rather not get into politics, Mr. Slavinator, but throwing a shit fit over people being vaccinated is kind of a really, really scummy thing to do. But yeah, so basically I think some of the EU nations probably did show their true colours there, basically, because they didn't, it took them absolutely ages to order the jabs and to approve them, and yet they want priority access to them. That's not how the real world, you know, real world works. Yeah, exactly, Vladimir. That was sort of the point I was trying to get at, I think. But yeah, like for example, if I've had a massive meal, like on like let's say Christmas Day or something, I pretty much can't get drunk on that day unless I, you know, drank a dangerous amount of alcohol. And I think that's the same for quite a lot of people. Yeah, I've got it, Brighton. I did find where it was the other day, where I was looking for the M50 for Stug. So I know where it is now, and I'll eventually get around to doing a video on it. It's just weirdly a mask that I bought and then never did a video on it, and I have no idea why. It's probably because it arrived at the same time a load of other stuff I'd ordered came. Alright, Stug. So yeah, good news. As I sent you on Discord, I did find the M50 eventually today. Not in the place I thought I was going to find it, but by sheer luck, I found it by accident when looking slowly through all the boxes where I thought it would turn up. And then it was a case of my mum had rearranged a load of stuff in one of the rooms and then shoved it behind some empty cardboard boxes. It's a bit early for cider, isn't it, Peach? It's like 3:30. I never have alcohol till at least 5 PM, 6 PM. I might as well sell all my feathers to the butcher while I'm here. Oh, this one's Otis Gyrie, the voice actor for this guy. If you've ever watched Chilling Tales for Dark Nights on YouTube, well, it's more like listening to it. It's like kind of scary story podcast, creepypasta thing. He's one of the guys who does the voice acting on it. I can sell it to him, not Gus, can't I? I'll just sell all this shit to him then. No. I won't sell him any meat, actually. I'll just sell him the things like the... I won't sell him the teeth, actually. I'll sell him the chicken breast. I'll sell him all the feathers. Yeah, it's a person without a name, so I don't know what to call you. It has been pissing down pretty much since, I think, Thursday or Friday last week. Wednesday last week, even, I think. So basically, I've had the problem of wanting to go out and do a video on a Gen 3 night vision device, and everywhere near me is flooded at the moment, so I can't go out and do videos on it, which is really annoying when you're borrowing stuff from people to do videos on. Yeah, I might as well sell the perfect ball pants. Yeah, Rich, like I said, I don't want to make this too political, but this is the problem, I think, where a lot of people don't get why people, are pro-Brexit here, is because there are double standards, And our government does a lot of stupid shit, and so do a lot of the EU governments, independently, like, say, France or Germany, of it being an EU decision. But I think regular people just get fed up when politicians can randomly decide shit on the fly. Like, personally, the reason I voted Brexit is I'd prefer to have a lot less government. As in the sense of, most of these 90-cent ones. I'll send them a good tea amount. But, I can reset that award again. But, in the sense that I want the least amount of government here, and I certainly don't want a government overseas that makes laws in my country. That's the way I look at it. Like, there was a lot of good things being in the EU, like the Schengen free travel, whatever you want to call it. And like a lot of the basically tax-free trade, a lot of that was really good, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm like, oh, EU is super bad, you are a traitor if you vote for Remain. I'm not one of those people. It's just that, I'd rather have a lot less government than more, and it seems like a lot at the moment the countries with the big bureaucratic messes of governments, the ones fucking up the hardest over Corona, because they can never make any decisions. That's alright, Rich, I don't blame you, Oh, okay, I'll call you Russian then. Hello, afternoon. I've got, this is something, I've got a replica of the Confederate copy of the 1851 that's called the Griswold and Gunnison. I made my revolver in this. I'll show you it at Cripps's thing. Hang on, let me go back over to Cripps, and then I'll show you, I'll get the 1851 out so you can have a look at it. Right, bear in mind, I could go to the gun shop actually, but I won't. I'll say, bear in mind I've put a bit more ornate detailing on it now, but a lot of my guns in this, I've actually done the kind of Confederate colour patterns on them. If I can show you. Like, where it's kind of like brass and steel, but as in the bits of the frame that could be made out of brass for cheapness reasons, they made out of brass. Because that's the reason a lot of the Confederate guns were like two-tone like that. Was simply because it was cheaper for them to make, skimp on steel where they could. So bits of the gun that didn't really handle pressure, they generally made out of brass. But I think that looks really cool, actually. Because, it looks almost kind of like a gold trim on it. Yeah, you can do it as well, Vladimir, can't you? Of quite a few types of dish soap and that. Now, let's go back to camp, and then I can show you the other revolvers. Yeah, that's basically how I've done all mine, Peach, in this. Bluing because blued steel looks the least rusty in this. And, yeah, hang on a second. Might as well pick up some more feathers to sell. But yeah, most of my guns I've done like the brass frames of like blued steel for all the moving parts kind of thing. Because I just think, yeah, that I kind of like the aesthetics and that. Like obviously, technically a lot of the guns should just be all blued steel if you wanted them to look as, robust as possible. Let me just pause the video on my phone, because that way it won't lag anything where it's trying to play the video on my phone while I'm reading the comments at the same time I'm Oh, is that other player going to come over and be irritating? Oh no, he's doing the stranger thing, or whatever that is. Right. I don't know. I mean, I've not read too much into space stuff, as fascinating as it is. Right, anyway, if you want to see my revolvers, Clint in all of those, Peach in all the dollars ones, has Confederate, or like just at least an 1851, doesn't he? I don't know if it's a Confederate one or a Colt one. But... Alright, good. Let me just fill up Cripps' supply again. I won't use the small animals at this point, just because I'm trying to build up my numbers of them. So I'll use the skins at the moment that I didn't sell. Right, so we're at 1, 5, 6, 10, 15... Ah, we can do all of them. Actually, yeah, let me just donate all then. Okay. Yeah, let's get that daily challenge done then. Well, at the moment it's impossible to legally play airsoft in the UK because of corona restrictions. I would like to play airsoft, but the problem is, as I've said quite a lot of times, the nearest site to me is 30 to 50 miles away sort of distance. I think there's only one airsoft game run a month when they, used to be able to do it before corona. And the other issue is, of course, that, you'd have to book that day off work or whatever, and then hope that there wasn't going to be, any issues with, for £14 sort of price, it's excellent, Brighto. I like mine because it's one of my half face masks that makes a very good bridge nose seal, and I can wear my glasses on top of it. I'd say it's very good for that price. It's got good airflow. Obviously, bear in mind, by default, with the filters on it, you're still going to be able to smell stuff because it just has particle filters on. The JSP Force 8, I would say, is the best of all of those sort of ones we get over here. But the GVS Ellipse is pretty damn good. I don't think I've got frogs in my current stew. I think it's just big game meat in this one. Because I just get it from the gators around here. So it's alligator soup, basically. But yeah, what was I going to do? The person who wanted to see the revolvers. Right, where's my gun chest? It's by the tent, isn't it? Right, weapon locker. I'll just get one of them out. So, Navy revolver. Right, let's get one of them out. So, stow on your horse. There we go. Right, I'll get off my horse. There you go. Right, so this is how I did my Navy revolvers in the game. So I'll get the thing up so you can look at it in my hand. Hang on a second. So I basically went for the Confederate style blued steel and brass underside kind of bit of it. But I didn't like where it said Duke or something in big letters on the side of the gun, so I ended up putting the ornate stuff on it just because I thought, oh, I'll make it look a bit more pimpin'. But yeah, it's annoying, isn't it, Pillfish, stuff like that? I'd really like to be into airsoft because it seems like a fun thing to do regularly. It's just, again, I think it's probably the problem in a lot of the UK. If you're not too close to a site, it's pretty uneconomical to keep, going however many miles it is to, not hit it. This is why I don't shoot most of the guns in first person in this, because of the primitive iron sights. So it's easier just to do that when you want to aim. Although we're kind of out of revolver range here, aren't we? You can put a snake on the pistol grip, can't you? But you can't colour it, can you, the one on the grip? I can't remember. You can't colour it independently. I'm trying to remember now. It would have to be waterproof cloth, Ryan, because the point of NBC gear is that it protects you from, like, chemicals or whatever getting through. No, this doesn't need cleaning, unless you're talking to somebody else. This is already in a pretty much full condition. Yeah, you also have to be very careful if you're doing public transport to the site because of terror laws. So let's say you have an airsoft AEG on you that looks fairly realistic. Worst case scenario, you get shot dead by armed police who think you're carrying a gun ready to shoot people. You know, I would always take my car personally or get a lift to an airsoft game because I would be really worried personally about getting on like a bus or something with a rucksack with an AEG in it just because of what they look like. Oh, my connection is apparently broken to the chat. Let me see if it will reload. But yeah, like I said, there's a lot of things where airsoft, if we had local sites and that, I think it'd be quite good. But yeah, sadly, it's like I think I'm in a similar situation to you, where obviously if you're in Exeter, that's down in Devon, isn't it? That's a gator, not a crocodile. They don't get crocodiles in the US unless they're like pet ones. Well, at least not saltwater crocodiles. But he is a crocodilian, though, I'll give you that. I might as well donate all of those teeth now. Or, actually, I want to donate them one by one, because I've noticed the annoying thing is if you donate all on something you've got a lot of, you can over-donate them. And, yeah, see, so if I did donate all, I think that would have used up all of them when I've still got 7 left. No, I went to bed before Mike's stream was on Russian. What was in Killdozer, Vladimir? I'm sure there are people who have trained gators to do that, English crab. Because I've seen somebody who's got a pet gator on YouTube and who does videos where they can call it and it bounds over like a dog, which is pretty cute. But, you know, if that bit you by accident, you know, it'd be a bit worse than a dog bite by accident, considering the sheer fucking crushing power of crocodilian species' jaws. Shatter your bones. Oh, something interesting. I won't be buying it, but if this was in literally like next year's time, I would have bought it, but I wouldn't be able to get the money together for it this year. But has anybody seen in the UK, in Wales, there is a full-on NBC bunker going for sale? Not an ROC post, but there's one of the old civil defence bunkers going for sale, which is basically oh, that wasn't what I was trying to do, but oh well. But yeah, it was, I think, a 20,000 square foot bunker that was retailing for about 40 grand. Like, that's really fucking cheap. Like, all of it needs restoring, don't get me wrong. But, all of it needs restoring, but, like, if I had 40 grand, I would buy that in an instant. I've never found a difference in it, Brighthole, personally. I've got more masks in white grey, just because they're normally cheaper online for some stupid reason. But I've never noticed a difference in the exact same masks I have in, you know, the exact same sizes. I didn't want to put a gator skin on there, did I? Because of the fact I'm taking a bounty in. Alright, well, let me pick him up. Come on. Alright. Drag him now. Okay, never mind. There we go, I can finally pick him up. Alright, Mike. Do you have a good stream last night? I went to bed really early last night. As soon as I'd had my dinner, within an hour of eating dinner, I just felt exhausted last night. I don't know why. But yeah, so, like I was saying, this wasn't an ROC post. It was actually one of the old Civil Defence Corps, when that used to be a thing in Britain. It was one of those bunkers. I think most of it is above ground rather than below ground, but it's like a giant brick and concrete, just sort of rectangular building. And it's got like a little telephone exchange in there, you know, like bunk bedrooms and everything. Obviously, the whole fucking thing would need completely, you know, like ultraviolet sterilising, you know, like bleach thrown everywhere. Then you'd need to paint it, dry the whole thing out. But for 40 grand, I would definitely buy that. If one came up like next year, say, I could probably afford that. But just because it's in an area as well where most of the houses of smaller sizes cost like 300 to 500 grand. So it's that weird thing of, oh, you can buy this old derelict bunker in the exact same neighbourhood, and it's way, way cheaper. It's that kind of funny thing. But as I said, I don't have the money for it at the moment. But I didn't even realise that was a daily challenge, but there we go. Oh yeah, I think Hype went on about that before JJ, which is really cool. Yeah, I have heard of them. I think at the point I had spare money for stuff like that, I have a feeling there were none in stock. Just because Webley also still do a version of the Webley service pistol. You know, like the old famous Webley revolvers as an air pistol, which is pretty much a 1-1 replica. And in the UK, you can own them more easily because of the fact that they're air guns, not just replica pistols that don't fire. Alright, Dan, not too bad. Lockdown's getting to me a bit. But if you missed it, I was saying in Wales at the moment, there's apparently a nuclear bunker for sale for only 40 grand. I don't know if that's like the starting bid price, but it's an actual, you know, like a bunker that was designed to house quite a lot of people. It's not one of the ROC post ones. So, like I was saying to people, if that was like, you know, if something like that came up when I had the money, I would buy that in an instant, you know, because of the fact that you get more land, essentially, in house, like, you know, room with it, than any of the surrounding houses in the neighbourhood it's in. And it's just the fact that, yeah, you'd need to spend probably quite a few grand restoring it, but it's a fucking nuclear bunker, you know, that's designed for maybe 20 people to be in. Alright, Dan, if you search Cardiff nuclear bunker or something like that, it's on the outskirts of Cardiff, apparently. I didn't look into it too much because I'm not going to be obviously buying it. But if you search Cardiff nuclear bunker, you should be able to find the articles on it. And yeah, I think the guide price is like 40 grand for it, and it's got like a little telephone exchange in there, and offices, and like bunk bedrooms and everything. But yeah, it looks really fucking good, you know, if somebody had the money for it. Like, it's pretty rare you get the ones that are bigger than ROC post go up for sale, especially at that price. Because that's the thing in the UK, I do not get, well, I mean, I'm pleased because I want to get one that more people don't want to do it, but considering, like, the prices of what bunkers cost compared to regular houses, even when they're in the same, like, areas of land, it just really surprises me more people don't go, oh, I'm going to buy a nuclear bunker and restore it, just to live in it, or turn it into flats or whatever. I know that happened near London, where the big four ones at, like, north, south, east and west of London did get renovated into actual, like, really, really expensive apartment buildings. Or I think maybe one or two are still derelict, but, like, you know, one or two basically got turned into multi-million-pound apartments, like flats. Because, you know, it's kind of amazing, even if it's like an ugly-looking nuclear bunker, if you had to spend enough money on interior design for it, you can turn it into a really nice building. Oh, the chat's lagged out again. I'm not going to the moon, sadly. I mean, I did buy on whoever it was recommendation the other day some Dodge coin or whatever it was for a joke, and I think technically if I sell it now I've made some money on it, but I might wait and see if it crashes and I lose everything, but or Doge coin, however it's pronounced. But oh, this is a hunt down the target one. He's boring. I have to use my Witcher vision. Well, that's the thing, JJ. Compared to the price of housing, if you're in the UK, in all honesty, I don't think normal people like us are ever going to get on the housing ladder unless we can inherit. Just because the situation is just so fucked when it comes to house prices now. So I don't think a lot of people get how bad it is. Like, the price of house inflation goes up more than what people make in a year, in general. And even with Corona, it's still going up silly. Like, you think we've had 100k people die, you think housing would be going down, but no, it's not. Well, let's pick this while I'm at it. Yeah, that was a clue. It looks like a turd. I'm going to inspect a turd. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what will happen with most people, JJ. But if you're somebody who has multiple siblings, obviously that's going to be a problem, isn't it? And it's also just the fact that, like, you know, some people's parents just rent houses. You know, but it's just the UK housing thing is so fucked at, like, the rate they build new houses here compared to, like, the rate of population increase. Even with Corona, it's still not working. I have to pay rent to my parents, JJ. That's one of the reasons, like I said, I'm quite eager to move out when I can afford to do it, just because in the long run it will be cheaper for me, and obviously I want independence, so I don't want to be stuck in this house. But you know, the reality is, if I paid rent in my local area for like a shitty 1-bedroom thing, that would be 90%, 80-90% of my earnings gone per month. You know, that's just the way it works, unfortunately. Does it sound like there's a collectible in here? Oh, good. Is it a tarot card? Yeah, Rich, in my area, they built some affordable houses. The smallest sizes, they're not even houses, they're like flats, you know. 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom flats sort of thing, you know. So they're basically, you've got less space in them than the Soviet tenement block, these affordable housing flats they built in my area. The 1-bedroom ones, £500,000. £500,000 for a 1-bedroom flat. Oh, that's how you get on the property ladder. And it's like, no, it's fucked. It's fucking fucked, mate, big time. I know there are areas in the UK where the house prices aren't so bad, but yeah, it's like, I find it weird when you get the boomers who can't understand, like, why lots of people my age kind of just get so fucking, you know, almost into despair or, you know, depression over future prospects. It's grim, because I've technically got 2 jobs, and even then, like I said, I could afford to rent and move out, but why would I do it? Because I'd be, you know, I'd have, like, no income, essentially. Yeah, we don't want to make this stream too depressing, do we? But yeah. Well, don't forget, yeah, exactly, JJ, it's the people, the government ministers, where they literally pay their relatives and friends, oh, here's a £250 million contract that you can fuck up, but you're my mate, or, you know, you're married to me, so I'm allowed to award you this contract. The fucking cronyism in this country is insane. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Slaminate, that's my exact point. I suppose in America it's because they've got so much land, right? The problem is in the UK, we're a small island with too many people living in it. But part of the problem is as well in the UK is that we don't build enough housing, and as like Richard was saying, when they do build the housing, they massively price it up more than it should be. Yeah, I wanted to go to Chernobyl last year and to Pripyat and everything, Brightold, but the issue was that I couldn't because of Corona, you know. I'm sorry to hear that, Litter Picker, but yeah, it's fucked, isn't it, a lot of this stuff? Like, it really is. Like, I was listening to LBC, I think it was a week or 2 ago, and on the Ian Dale show, they were on about, you know, like, reform of prisoners and things like that. And there was a bloke who'd just come out of prison for a pretty minor thing, and And they gave him so little support when he came out of prison that he ended up as being homeless, you know, within a week, basically. And he was saying, like, why shouldn't I just go and commit another crime so I can at least go back into prison and be in, like, a warm place of warm food, you know? Couldn't blame the bloke. I think, thankfully, like, a load of listeners and charities got, you know, in touch and sorted it out for him. But, you know, it's the fucking fact that that's the way people are treated over here, you know? And again, like, you know, I know people are like, oh, don't commit a crime, but when you're better off being in prison, you know, as a way of living, there's something seriously fucking wrong, isn't there? No, exactly what. Have you seen the crazy stuff, Lord Flashheart, where you see the not bunkers, sorry, I was going to say, see the houses that are, like, recently built and they're almost falling apart? And then, like, the house owners can't get money back on them or whatever. Because basically they were fucked when they bought the contract for them. And there's also, like, the same thing going on with the flammable cladding, isn't there, in a load of places? Where, oh, my horse is on top of that thing now. Where, you know, they have these, bloody, what do you want to call it? Like, houses that were built, or, like, flats that were built with the flammable cladding on, and because of Grenfell, like, the people who are in the flats now have to pay, like, dozens of grand to get the cladding removed, when it was fine to be put on there when, you know, they bought it, so they've literally been fucking screwed out of all that money. Who was that in response to Vladimir, where he says, were you considering getting Ukrainian visa? Who was that for? I mean, personally, I don't really want to leave the UK. Like, if I moved to anywhere, I'd probably move to fucking Yankee Doodle Land, just because of how silly it is with the guns and all that. As much as the health, you know, situation over there is fucked. But like I said, I like people from all over the world, you know. But I wouldn't really want to learn another language either. Like I said, what I want to do is save up, buy a derelict bunker and restore it. Because they're still in better condition than the modern built houses, and then become a fucking hermit living in a bunker. That's basically my plans, you know. Because in the current year in the UK, buying a derelict Cold War bunker and restoring it is far, far cheaper and better living standards than buying a house. Something's gone very wrong here. Alright, did you, alright, Mike, did you have a lot to drink then last night? I didn't have much to drink, in all honesty, yesterday, but I woke up, not with a hangover, but just when you wake up feeling, like, quite achy and headachy. So I was just like, ugh. But I certainly want to visit Russia at some point and a lot of other places, just because it's interesting visiting other countries and learning about, like, the culture and history. Because you learn history a lot better going and seeing it in person than you do, you know, reading a book or whatever. Oh. Right, if you want to see the Navy, here we go. Where's he gone? Because I played too much this game, my guy's a Terminator, he just shrugs off shitloads of bullets for some reason. Yeah, it's stupid, Mr. Slavinator, isn't it? Like, I actually can completely sympathise, though, with people who don't commit any sort of violent crimes, you know, to get back in prison. Like, you know, they just do something that will get them put in there and it doesn't hurt any normal people just because of the way things are at the moment. I can get them completely, but attacking people's fucked up. The problem is when you drag them behind you, you don't get a marker on your map where you're meant to be going with them. I'll remove some of her limbs to reduce the weight on my horse, because, you know, my horse might not like having a lot of weight on him. I don't think you can blow off a bounty's head, can you? No. I'm sure their limbs come off, though. Yeah, they do. Right, good. She's got a dress, so you can't really notice, but... There we go. Alright. It's reduced the weight a bit for my horse, you know. And by faffing about with a bounty, it actually gives me more money when I get there, which is stupid. Like we were saying earlier. Right, there we go. Right, where am I taking her? Back to Rhodes or whatever? Yeah, Road Sheriff Office. Alright, Mike. Yeah, that makes sense. I've done that before when I've, like, had issues, you know, during, like, the lockdowns with over-drinking. It was kind of a case of not buying any more and finishing off what you had. But at the moment, I've been quite sensible since, you know, the stream we did last week. Just because, like, I opened a bottle of wine yesterday when we had dinner and I didn't finish off the bottle of wine, so that gives you some idea if I didn't even finish a single bottle of wine. I did have, I think... 2 very small, like, shot glasses worth of bamboo over a few hours after that. But, you know, I was probably under 5 units yesterday, actually, saying that. But the nice thing I've at least found with that bamboo rum, or whatever it's called, or bamboo rum that Peach recommended, and yes, it's very nice, is that the bamboo, at least, because it's an expensive rum, it's like single malt whiskey, where I'm much more disciplined about not drinking it silly fast, because I like to savour the taste of it, because, you know, it actually tastes nice, as opposed to you're drinking it to get fucked. Right, Vladimir. But yeah, I agree with you, JJ. If there's lots of old buildings, the thing that pisses me off is when there's old buildings that sit derelict and nothing is done with them, you know. Like I've been saying with the ROC posts, it fucking pisses me off when they get bulldozed. But I can understand if they're in an area where land's really high value, if they bulldoze and build houses on it, that's probably worthwhile. But what I hate is when somebody buys the land they're on, bulldozes them or whatever, fills them in with, like, concrete, and then doesn't do anything with the land. It just sits as a flat, empty field. Probably to speculate on the price of it. And again, it's the same thing in the UK. We've got so many abandoned, like, hospitals, prisons, things like that. Yeah, turn them into really, really cheap apartments. So people without really any good income can live in them, you know. I think that's sensible. I think a lot of people would think that's sensible. But unfortunately, you know, the people who make decisions in these countries aren't sensible. Well, they just don't care about people like you or me. Yeah, Peach, I think we might have some Coke in the back fridge. You know, the drinkable Coke, not the snortable Coke. If we do, I might try some of the bamboo with that, because I do like rum and Coke, but generally if I'm drinking something more expensive as a spirit, I always have it neat rather than as a mixer, because I find mixing's good when you have something that basically is just firewater. Yeah, I might finish the bottle of bamboo off tonight, because I've been drinking, you know, like a little bit each day since it arrived. Like right at the beginning of the week, or like halfway through the week, whenever it was. So, you know, I've had probably 2 to 3 shot glasses worth each day, or like very small, like, you know, glasses. That yellow rose of Texas? Yeah, it's yellow rose of Texas. Yeah, if I went to Berlin, I'd definitely visit all that stuff. Is there still a surviving flak tower in Berlin? Because annoyingly, when I went to Vienna, I didn't realise at the time there was a flak tower you could visit in the park. But, you know, I generally try and, if I ever go to a city, cram in as many of the cool historical things as possible. Which is what annoyed me when I went to Prague. I didn't realise there was a massive, like, civil nuclear bunker museum in Prague. I was like, for fuck's sake. I mean, I did do a lot of drinking when I was in Prague, but still. You know, that was one of the things. I was like, oh, I've been to a place with a massive nuclear bunker, and I didn't go to look at it. The castle at Prague was nice, and that was, like, free entry. But oh, there's a flak tower there, cool. Yeah, flak towers are fucking cool, aren't they? That'd be another sort of thing I'd like to buy if they were, like, ever sold cheap. You know, like, we don't have them over in the UK, but that kind of thing, you know, like the bunkers. Oh, there's this massive fucking anti-aircraft tower here made of solid concrete that's never going to break apart. So it's Gyri again. So I'll keep the game meat. I'll keep the game meat and I'll keep the, like that stuff, you know, yeah. Yeah, it's a shame with Corona, isn't it? There's so much stuff at the moment you can't go and see if you want to. And again, I have mates that like used to work in like bits of the travel industry, and they're like fucked as well, just because, you know, there's no demand for like pilots, cabin crew, tour guides, are there? When you've got no holidays because of Corona. I'm trying to remember what brands of beer I had when I was over there, Vladimir. But yeah, the thing I liked about a lot of the German and Czech beers, it's like Pilsner type stuff, isn't it? They're quite like wheaty beers. I quite like that. But actual wheat beer is quite nice, but you don't get many brands of it imported, sadly, into the UK. At least not in supermarkets. But because I generally, if I'm drinking beer, I generally prefer like bitter sort of ale type things. But there are a lot of beers that just do have a really good solid sort of taste to them. Have I been streaming this for about an hour now? I'm not sure. Probably about an hour, hasn't it? Oh, Surviving the Apocalypse has just done a video on the Polish PK56 calorimeter, or whatever it's called. Because Piotr sent me one of those the other day. I've currently got one of the glass tubes from it next to some of my sauces to try and get it to see if I can get it to change colour. But yeah, I'll have to watch the video on that soon. Right, is the chat still working or is it broken? Let me go off the video and go back on. I'll see if I can still see the chat. I can't even see the chat now, live chat. There we go. Okay, Mike. So, I can see Peach's one and Mike's one, but otherwise the last comment was 4:05 PM from Mr. Slavinator. Oh, and it's on top chat as well for me, which isn't handy. Let me put mine to live chat. Yeah, there seems to be something wrong with a lot of the YouTube chats recently, because it's been on both the webcam ones and the game ones, hasn't it? I've done that. Loads of comments just don't show up. Or, like, just show up for some people and not others, or whatever. But I'll probably head off fairly soon anyway, just because of the fact that, you know, I've got a video I need to film and upload a bit later today. And my mum's gone out to look after my granddad today, so, you know, it's easier to film a video when she's out, because then she won't walk through the room when I'm trying to film a video and have to start it all again. Again, that's the thing I like the idea of if I move out. I can make a video whenever I want. I'll do a resupply mission and I'll go off, actually. Do you have any in a cupboard or anything, Rich? Because I was watching some of the auction programs where people get absurd money for some like old stuff that's fucking useless. I mean, I like buying old stuff that's fucking useless, as you all know, but you know, it's that kind of thing where I'd really yeah, it's really weird some of the stuff you might have in a garage. Like the crazy one on some auction programs, somebody had a push bike, right? Like a push bike that's nowhere near as good as like modern push bikes. And they got for it something like £7 or something. It was insane. It was like what my granddad was watching when I was over there. He's going like, oh, fancy that money for an old bike. The music playing at the moment reminds me a bit of Stalker for some reason. Don't know why, it's just some of the swampy sort of ambient music in this game is very stalkerish. Blow out soon, fellow stalker. Not like the harmonica-y sounding stuff, but you know, some of the sort of groaning sort of synth type noises. I don't know, Litter Picker, I think the problem is sometimes people make a comment and it just doesn't show up for anybody else but them. Like where YouTube's hidden a comment. Alright, let's use the shotgun then. Problem is when I'm using an auto shotgun, I keep wanting to rewatch The Terminator every fucking time. I'm a friend of Sarah Connor, can I see her please? I'll be back. Oh, it's one of these missions that can go really annoying if they manage to kill the person and it fails. I don't think I have any US chemical gloves. I've got a US chemical hood on my M17A2, but I don't think I have any US chemical gloves. I've got some West German chemical gloves, they're not the same thing. But no, US stuff doesn't tend to turn up much in the UK, at least of military stuff, because of all the fucking ITAR restrictions over the years. So weirdly, often it's easier to buy US surplus from other European countries, where it just happens to be, you know, in stock still, than, you know, actually from the US directly. And the other annoying thing is just the people are, oh no, I'm not going to post it abroad. Even if we do it an insured thing and you paid all the postage, no, I'm not going to post it to you. Ah, thanks, and you know, that's always helpful, isn't it? Somebody just refusing to post something to somebody who's willing to buy it. I think person whose name I can never pronounce. You have to actually tell me how to pronounce it, like in broken English. But yeah, there's lots of like nice stuff in this game. I think graphically this game looks beautiful with all like the weather effects and that, and like yeah, the old colonial buildings and like stuff. Oh, there's a wagon coming the other way. Just manually get. Just manually go past him before going back on the auto travel. So yeah, when I get this back to camp, I'll go off, because I, you know, need to get the video filmed on that gas mask people asked me to buy, and then it turned out it's not any use. So I can at least warn other people not to buy them in a video, if that's helpful for them. It would be a completely perfect mask, but it's it's a rebreather style mask. It's a, you know, a SCBA, whatever you want to call it, self-contained breathing apparatus. Whether or not you use it with an air tank or a scrubber unit, I don't know. But the point is the mask on its own is useless, and it doesn't have a 40mm thread on it. It's kind of like an MSA Hour, but not for 40mm use. I think that's almost what it is, the MSA Hour 3 or whatever it's called. It's like that, but the actual Firefighters version of it. Oh, there's something actually, if Brightol's still on, that I can say the Polish DP75 Geiger counter does even better than the Russian IMD5. Like the DP5 and the IMD5. And it's that it's beta sensitive up to half a Rontgen, whereas the DP5 and IMDP5 only go up to 50 millirontgen with beta. And I've had people tell me I'm incorrect about that, but I know I fucking tested it the other day with some Czech sources. And nope. The IMD5, like the DP5, only goes to 50 millirontgen. And the IMD5 literally tells you that on the dial. It's got the cubic sort of, you know, like centimeters cubed thing telling you what the contamination is on like the meters rather than it being in a dose equivalent. Alright, you're Hack Nawaz, okay, if I've said that right. I'd assume if it was called an M38 filter, it'd be from the Nazi German era. You know, if it means M1938, that's what I'd assume, but, you know, maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm wrong on a lot of things. Alright, cheers, Miss Slavnet. It's put me in a better mood doing the stream and chatting with people. It's just like I said at the moment, lockdown can sometimes get you a bit when you almost are having the same, you know, contact with the same people day in, day out. It can just really, really start doing your nutting after a while. It's probably a similar thing to that Pillfish. I'll do the video on it and then you can maybe ID it if it's a similar sort of mask, but I think it'd be alright if you had the right systems for it. Like I said, I don't. 14 units of materials. I reckon they've nerfed the amount of materials you get from that, because it always used to be 20 from wagons. But anyway, yeah, I'll finish the stream now, so I hope everybody has a good day. I need to fairly soon start filming the video on that mask, and then I'll stick that up on the internet, as in YouTube. And then my next video is going to be Wednesday, assuming everything goes to plan. I really want to do that Gen 3 night vision video properly, but if the weather's like this, it's going to have to keep waiting. So his name's Tim, is it? Yeah, thankfully, Little Picker, most of the people I live with are really good people. I can't say the same thing about, you know, everybody in my near vicinity, but, you know, it's... But I completely get it. Lockdown must be horrible if you're literally stuck with people you don't get on with. Like, I know some of my friends that rent are stuck in that situation, you know, where they house share. Where, like, you know, the other people in the house is fine if they were at work and barely seen each other, but they're completely, you know, at each other's throats now. You know. Anyway, see you all, have a good day, and I'll get the video filmed fairly soon on the gas mask and get it uploaded. See you then. And I need to just stop the stream, end stream.